All right, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, citizens of YouTube. This is Pastor Dow. I'm here on, I guess, part two of the community series. And of course, I do know that I have people who are very interested in what I have to say, be it in the community or not. Um, I know I have your ear. I guess I open up a can of worms at the same time, but we live in an information era where, a lot of people love to receive information. It doesn't mean that they're going to act on it, but they do like receiving information. The only thing about receiving information receiving it does not give you the experience. So therefore, without the experience coupled with the information, you do not have wisdom going forward. But the baseline or the starting point is that there has to be a very strong support system when starting any type of community. And the word integrity is there. Now you have to understand that in order for you to be a good leader, you must first learn how to be a good follower. And of course, hey, we hear that all the time. But we live in a world today where everybody acts like that they have something to offer. Everybody seems to have an opinion about everything. And the majority of these people who have an opinion, the majority of these people who want to submit offers, have not a lick of wisdom whatsoever at all. My personal experience has led me to believe through experience that unless someone has actually made the sacrifice to actually live on a community and the sacrifice to live with people, bare minimum, if you haven't been around us for 3 years as far as living on this community and stuff, I have no information to receive from you as far as the operation. I have no information to receive from you about how to do things, how to conduct things, or anything whatsoever at all, because you have no experience whatsoever at all. Anybody can look into something and say, well, I think you ought to do this and I think you ought to do that. Again, we live in a society and information age where everybody has an opinion about something, but very few people have the experience, which will bring about the wisdom. We have very few people in this world today that is of sound quality, that is honest, and has very strong moral character. We have a lot of people who champion themselves to be as such, but when you really truly peer into their heart, peer into their lives, we found out that these people are not so. For instance, let me give you an example. You have in this world today, people have a whole lot more or a higher expectation of holiness from everybody else, but they give themselves and they give their family a pass. And this just simply is not going to fly, because unless you have moral uprightness and unless you have a moral character and a high standard of moral integrity, it's just simply not going to fly. And I don't mind telling you that I have people that come around here, that come to me all the time. They have judgments, but I do not let their judgments mean this much to me. You ever seen a duck go off into a pond or into a lake, river, or stream, and then you see the water roll off his back? That the duck, you see the duck shake it off, and he walks on like he's never even been in the water at all. That's the way you have to approach this, because you have a lot of people that simply will not submit whatsoever at all. They have never been accustomed to submitting to anything, and they're not going to do it. Everybody thinks that they are the head. Everybody thinks that they are the leader. Everybody thinks they have what it takes to lead people. And this is the reason why that we can't come together as a people today. Is simply because people they value their opinion. They put their opinion above facts. And I said it once, I said it 1,000 times. We may all be entitled to our own opinion, but we're definitely not entitled to our own facts. So if you have people that come around, they're very critical and judgmental, and yet their lifestyle doesn't line up. For instance, they're lazy, they're apathetic, they're complacent, they're murmurers, they're complainers. They're backbiters. They always present a bad aura environment. They show up to work late. They don't have a one heart, one mind, one soul mindset. You constantly have to stay on them. They're dragging jobs down, or they act like they use the trump card. I'm sick, I can't work, or they will not obey them that have the rule over them. You know, it's amazing. Those type of people you do not need around you. That's the reason why the wisdom that we have here. And then many times we fail. Many times we fail even at that, because, you know, when people first come around, it's like a new broom. It sweeps very well. And they deceive you, because their selling point is, because they want to be on the community so bad, is that this is my family. These are the type of people we are. But it's not until you get like 6 months down the road, a year down the road, that you really truly find out what people are made of. And you start to see all the things that they have refused to deal with that's in their heart. You start to see it come out. And everything that people have refused to actually see themselves for, and the way they are in the mirror, it's going to come out. It will come out. And those will be the people that will cause you the most trouble and the most problems. And they will be unthankful, ungrateful, and unholy. One of my advice is, and my advice from over the past is that if somebody comes to a community empty-handed, you have to be very, very critical about letting them become part of you, because they've given nothing, and they've contributed nothing. Now, they may lie to others and say that they have contributed, but the truth is, I found out through experience over the years that those who contribute nothing, those are the people who have given me the greatest headaches and problems over the years. But I would tell you, you'll do wise if you pay attention to what I'm saying. It'll save you a lot of steps. It'll save you a lot of time dealing with humanity. And then on the flip side, you have those, every once in a while, you may have one in like 250 where a family would come. And that family could be a mother or children, or it could be a husband, wife, and children, or it could be just a man with a daughter or something. Every once in a while, you'll see somebody come along like that, and they will blow away all your expectations. They're not trying to blow smoke up your hindquarters. They're very hard workers. They're diligent. They're grateful. They're thankful. Over the years, I've actually truly have only seen maybe two people like that over the years since being in this ministry. As a matter of fact, both those people, and they just happen to be female in nature, they live here on this community. And I tell you, you cannot speak enough for their heart. You cannot speak enough for their work ethic. You cannot speak enough for what they have contributed, because their value exceeds anything monetarily that anybody could ever give. But it is a fact that when somebody contributes and gives, therefore they're more engaged. But you know, I'm utterly amazed how today that, you know, we can go into the military and not have any authority and power and submit for years until we become in authority. Or we can go out and work for corporations. We could work at jobs and stuff and start off at the apprentice level and have to submit. But it's something crazy. You know, we can go into the religion of Christianity and get lied to from the day you step in that door to the day you leave. And we don't mind that. But when we come into this Israelite movement, this holiness movement, all of a sudden, we act like that we are the law, the prophet. We sit in Moses' seat. We have all the answers to everything, and we don't have the answers to nothing. We mislead people, and it's just a shame. It really, truly is. But anyway, a new broom always sweeps well, but give it time. Give it time, it wears down, and you'll really, truly start seeing what's really in man's heart. And I would tell you that if you are going to be a leader of any community, you have to have broad shoulders. You have to have wisdom well beyond your years. And you have to know how to handle things. Most men, you know, they stumble and fall with their words, but it's really truly not in their heart to do it, but yet they do it anyway. And you have to be able to determine what that is. And then most people, They're just simply just bad seeds. But it's those people who are just bad seeds who actually think that they are the epitome of righteousness. But you need accountability. Accountability. There's no way you can be a leader inside a community without being accountable one to another. And the accountability starts with the leadership, meaning you have like a pastor and you have elders. They have to be accountable one to another. Nobody is in this thing carte blanche. Nobody is the end all and be all of everything. Everybody has to submit to their righteousness. You're a lay member and stuff. You need to stay in your place. You stay out of the affairs and the orders of running the community because you don't have any wisdom to. And I think one of the biggest destructions that there is when people come together is the murmuring and the complaining, the backbiting, the critical judgment, the cancer of someone living with you, and then other people who are designed to even start to do something like this or go this way. They begin to insert poison into them. Now, I'll tell you what my solution is that anytime somebody new comes around, you warn them of the people who cause problems on the community, or the people who cause problems in the ministry. And therefore, what you do is you prepare their hearts and minds. You see, if I tell you that, okay, if you go in that neck of the woods, you'll be fine. You can walk through those woods, you can roam around, you'll be fine. But if you go over there, you need to know that there are copperheads over there. Now, you can go over there, but you need to know that there are copperheads in that neck of the woods over there. What I did is I informed them of the danger, the impending danger, and the position that they're going to put themselves in if they choose to go into that neck of the woods. Now, they can go into that arena. They can go play in that playground all they want. My advice is to stay over here. But if you want to go over there, it's your option as a person, a grown person who has a mind to be able to think for themselves, to use independent thinking, self-autonomy. But what I did was I actually give them information, gave them knowledge that if you do go over there, you need to tread very carefully your antennas that normally wouldn't have been up, your guard that normally wouldn't have been up. Because over here you don't have to worry about having a guard up, but if your guard normally wouldn't have been up, and your awareness would have never ever been activated unless I said that to you. So what you do is you give the people an impending warning of danger that could be in these particular areas right here, and then that way you protect their minds and their conscience from the vipers that could be there to bite them. And that's how you have to be able to handle people today, because everybody always wants people ear, whether it be a negative or positive or something like that. And as a leader, you have to lead by example. Leading by example, that means that can't nobody outwork you. Can't nobody be a greater an example of you. Now, you may have other leaders there on the community that be right there neck and neck with you and stuff, but you are to lead by example. Now, people are going to criticize you because they do that, because we live in an unjust world. And they're going to judge you in everything. Now, just have big shoulders. As long as you know that you are walking uprightly in the integrity of your heart and you're doing things right, you do not have to answer to any of these people. And especially the people who claim to be part of ministries and stuff. If they don't contribute to the ministry in any way, shape, fashion, or form, they don't give you any free will offerings and stuff to show you that they're in one mind with you, but yet they have advice for you, or they got things that they would like to tell you, or how to do certain things. I wouldn't listen to them at all. You have enough advisors when you have those elders who live with you, close to you, who are rubbing shoulder to shoulder with you, who are getting things done. You'll be better off receiving advice from them as opposed to these people who have never chewed any dirt whatsoever at all that you have chosen to chew. So you have to be very slow and careful when choosing elders as well as saints or people who are going to be with you. Hey, I guess that's the end of part 2. We'll come back with a part 3 a little bit later on. I hope you enjoy this.